Folks, this is Retro Reload. Episode, we don't even count them anymore.
Yeah, we gave up on that.
But yeah, I'm sure it's up there. We're only gonna be doing a Tuesday show this week because it is Christmas / Hanukkah / Festivus / maybe nothing special at all. All depends on your perspective. So in the interest of political correctness, which we care very little about here on the show, we just want to make sure that we say, whatever you celebrate, rock it. So I do know that not controversial at all is the fact that there's one thing that we're kind of celebrating today, which is Fighter Pilot's birthday.
Yes.
So first of all, happy birthday, my friend. How old are you?
I'll be 27 on Saturday.
27. Nice. Nice. So what's it like 6 years after it was first legal for you to start drinking?
It's better when I was underage, or not underage, but between 18 and 20, it was way funner. Now it's like, oh, I can buy a beer. That's okay, I guess.
Yeah. What he means, boys and girls and parents and policemen, is that he imagines it would have been more fun before.
Yes. Or I was in countries where it was legal to drink at 18.
Exactly. Yes. He means when he was drinking legally in other countries with lower age limits.
Exactly.
That's what we were doing. So, did you get any birthday presents?
Not yet, but I'm getting a couple PS4 games, and that's about it. And that's Christmas / birthday, because Christmas babies, terrible.
Nice. Well, this by nice, obviously I mean not nice, but
yes,
that was a sarcastic nice. It's not that I'm an insensitive clod. I am an insensitive clod, but in this case, it was not my intention to be insensitive. So, all right. Now that I can't dig myself out of that hole,
I'll be crying after the show.
I know, right? Sobbing into his drink. So, that he's now legal to drink.
I'm old enough to drink that whiskey now.
I know. So this show, we're kind of doing something. It's newer than New Year's. There's a lot of stuff that's under wraps. Like I can't really talk about what's going to unfold in the next couple of days because my boy is downstairs and he'll hear anything that I talk about. So
he got him Battletoads, guys. Okay.
Yeah, I got him Battletoads. So no, I didn't. But well, I don't know. I guess you'll have to see. Maybe I did. Anyway.
I was reading how they're calling Pawn Star. Last night I was reading they're calling the Pawn Stop store some trolls and kept asking for Battletoads, like how they used to do the GameStop.
Oh man,
4chan was doing it. And I was like, wow.
Man, that's brutal right there. It's brutal. Although if they're really on their game, they'll be like, "Oh, rare replay." Right? I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so today's show, we do have some news topics. There's a game that you may not have heard about. It's kind of been flying under the radar so far. I first actually read about it. There was a one-page article in this month's Game Informer about it, and then I went and looked online and found a wealth of really interesting information about it. But we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that in just a bit. I'm hopeful that this game will be a 2016 release. Because I just can't wait to see more of the concept in the game. So, but we'll get to that shortly. Before that, we've got other topics which should be super cool, including on VG Collect, which both Fighter Pilot and I are members of. We were participating in some forum posts there, at least keeping up on other people's posts and everything, and wanted to talk about goals that we had set for 2015, and whether or not we had accomplished those goals. And kind of preparatory to going into 2016, and then also I'll be talking about a little contest that we did. There's no prizes or anything, but sometimes we just do these things to see if we can do them. Somebody had posted a challenge to play 52 games in 2015, and I totally completely crushed that. I think I stopped counting after 100, but I'll go over the highlights of some of the games that I played and what my thoughts were on those games. It's not going to be every single one of them because we'd run out of time in the show, but that's what we got lined up. So Fighter Pilot, anything I missed?
One quick thing, and I know you don't care, but supposedly Retro VGS is trying again with a new old system.
Yeah,
ColecoVision.
you had to slide that in there, didn't you?
Yes, I knew that would irritate you. But
Yeah, it is true, folks. You can check it out on VG Collect. I'm sure they probably posted something on their Facebook page, whatever. Look, I'm not trying to crap on the project. I know that I'm not super excited about it. I should be, ironically enough. Now it's officially branded. It's like a ColecoVision.
Yes.
I don't remember what the hell they call it. It's Coleco something. I don't even remember. But the main reason that I'm not excited about it is, other than a new screenshot of the console,
that's all we got.
it's the same crap we've been hearing before, right? Like, it'll play retro games somehow. No clarification of if it's playing them off of the original cartridges, old cartridges, new
It's like
cartridges.
8-bit, 16-bit. I was like, well, that's not saying much.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same generic big promises and all that other stuff. It's just got now a fancy label and a name of an actual company that hasn't been making video games in, like, over 2 decades. So I'm
Let's
excited.
move on then.
I'm excited about the possibility of Coleco coming back and maybe getting some of their old licenses to join them. But at the same time, it's like, look, please don't.
We just went through this rodeo.
Yeah, like, don't try to get my attention until you actually got something new to tell me. Like, I'm just so burned out on the same old information.
Okay, how this one? Star Wars movie is out. Have you seen it?
Oh, I have not seen the new Star Wars movie, but myself, my wife, and my son are totally planning to see it. So I thank anybody out there that have you seen it yet?
No, but I have a friend, and I'll send you the screenshot later. He's seen it 15 times already.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm trying like hell to avoid any kind of spoilers or anything.
I plan going in January when school's back in, so I don't deal with kids. Yes, I am that guy.
We're gonna try to watch it in the. I think we're gonna try to watch it at the drive-in on Tuesday. So obviously not today, but next Tuesday. So folks, if I'm not here for the show next Tuesday, it'll be because it is the 14th, honey, 14. Yeah. Anyway, she can't hear me. It's either my 14th or my 15th wedding anniversary. And it's not because I'm forgetful or anything like that. Well, I guess it is technically because I'm forgetful, but whether it's 15 years that's felt like 14, or 14 years that I wish was 15, either way I couldn't be happier. So,
well, congratulations, you guys.
Yeah, on the 5% chance Lisa's watching this broadcast, I love you, babe. So yeah, I may not be in Tuesday's show next week, but I appreciate everybody who's not posting spoilers of Star Wars. I know that there's some folks posting spoilers. There's even a meme, I guess, going around that I've fortunately missed. Whoever's posting spoilers of the new Star Wars, grow the F up, dude. Like,
my friend told me what happened, and I let him tell me because I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, so.
Don't la. Don't tell me.
Jar Jar Binks has the most on-time screenplay. Just saying. Spoiler.
So, into our first topic, did you set any goals for 2015, Jeremy?
Yes.
What were your goals for 2015, and how'd you do?
One was a Wii U, which I accomplished.
Nice.
The other one was a 3DS, which I didn't accomplish. I forget what the others were. Other games. I think I got most of them though. But the big ones was the Wii U and the 3DS.
The Wii U is quite an accomplishment because that is not. I think the Wii U was the most expensive, right?
Yes, and I had to do a lot of sacrifices for it.
And you sacrificed some stuff. You sold some stuff in your gun collection and
a few other things. Yep.
Yeah, things like that. And then there was the Xbox One that could have been, right?
Yes, but until recent things I've heard, we won't further discuss that. But I'm glad I got the Clamp instead. Some things I've been hearing about the Xbox One recently.
How is your brother enjoying the Clamp?
Yeah, he asked me. He's like, because his birthday is December 27th, a day after mine.
Oh,
He's like,
wow.
"You want to buy me some coral for my tank?" And I was like, "I might do it."
You said you might do it?
Yeah, then I might say for my birthday I want a game.
You know, there you go. There you go. That way you get something that you want, but you don't feel selfish. He gets
Yeah,
something that he wants,
and you
and,
don't feel selfish.
you feel like you're a good brother.
And his wife can't say anything. I was like, "Well, I bought it for Jeremy."
You get what you want, you get good karma. I think it's a
Exactly.
win-win situation.
So,
So
how your gaming accomplishments? Did you
my
reach
collection.
all goals?
So yeah, so I did. There's a couple of threads in VG Collect that I was kind of participating in. One of them was top 10 items in your wish list. So on VG Collect, for folks that don't know, you can set up. Here's what's in my collection. Here's what's in my wish list, and here's the things I'm willing to sell. And some people, their wish list, like if you're the flea, you've got a wish list that's got like 8 billion items in it, and people get lost in there and die, and they're not found for like years later. The only thing that is larger, I think, than the flea's wish list is his actual collection, which is amazing. The guy has practically everything that you could imagine. So whether it's a console or a game or whatever. So but if you're, and then there's everything in between, right? People that don't have even started a wish list, don't really catalog their collection. They just go for the forums, which are great, excellent community. But I'm kind of somewhere in the middle, right? Like everything that I collect is fully documented in my collection, mainly because I hate when I'm at a store or a thrift place or whatever, and I see something that looks to me like a good deal, and I'm like, oh man, I better pick that up. And then I get home and I'm like, I have like 8 copies of this. What the hell am I doing? Right? Like, how many freaking copies of Mega Man do you need, right? So, so for me, it's a way for me to kind of, keep. I was fortunate enough. I joined VG Collect just as soon after I got into, like, I'm really seriously going to try to collect the games from my childhood, either that I had and lost, or that I missed. And so my wish list has always been geared toward, was mainly geared toward all the stuff I wanted when I was a kid. I really kind of ignored current gen gaming unless it was like a really, really, like, important game like Tomb Raider. But mainly my focus was on retro stuff. But what was cool is this said, okay, look, take everything that's in your list, whether you got a list the size of the fleas, or whether you got a list the size of, Chris's list, which at the time I started it, I think I had like maybe 60, 70 things in my wish list.
Actually, I hit 300 today. I'm proud of that.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a pretty wish list.
And I just do games. I don't do like accessories like the other guys do.
Yeah. If I want to remember it so that I know when I'm looking at eBay or something, if I see a good deal, grab it. I'll put it in there. I don't discriminate. So, but unless it's something super simple and common, like I need an extra controller for my PS3, I won't put that in there. But if I want like a Super Scope or something like that for the SNES, I'll put that in there. But yeah, so what was good for me was, when you get to that last batch of wish list items, it's surprisingly difficult because if you're me, what happened was all the quote low-hanging fruit or all the cheap quick finds, I'd pretty much gotten. Yeah, exactly. And so now it was like, it was not necessarily rare, but more obscure and more coveted, I'll say, items, or at least perceived to be coveted items. So it was stuff that was, $80 for things like the Horde for 3DO, $100 for no good reason, right?
Yeah.
I mean, $100 for a 3DO game that the second you pop it in, erases every other save game in your 3DO's memory.
Really?
Yeah, it does. They had to do a re-release. If you own the actual retail copy of it, when you popped it in, since the save game was so huge, it would automatically, without any prompting or anything, just wipe out every other save game on the system and then put its own in. And after major backlash from people on Christmas who obliterated their saves, they made a patched version of the game that you had to call support and they would mail you like the new disc. So
piss, erase all my memory.
I know, right? So that, I mean, but that goes for like, like I said, $100 complete now, $50 if you get a really crappy copy. So what I did is I recently learned that it was actually available for the Sega Saturn as well, and I picked it up for the Sega Saturn complete in box for like I think $30.
Nice.
Or no, wait, $20. It was $20.
Hey, as
So
long as you have it, doesn't if you mind what system it's on.
yeah, yeah. And the main reason that I wanted it was I was a fan of the actor in there whose name I can't currently remember. But yeah, let me go. That's gonna bug me now. I have to go look that up. Child actor, The Horde. Kirk Cameron. There we go.
Okay.
Kirk Cameron of Growing Pains. So was in there. So pretty cool. I like him as an actor and in general as a person. So I figure, it's not. I know it's not directly supporting him, but like for nostalgia reasons, I got it. So anyway, some of the things in my top 10, if you're curious, like what kind of stuff I had in there. Because what was funny is if you follow the thread all this year, you'll see me like crushing things in my top 10, and then I'd issue a new top 10, and then I'd crush things in that top 10, and then I'd issue a new top 10. And so that thread was really good for me because it allowed me to actually focus. And instead of me like, having to try to think or scroll through and be on the lookout for like any one of these 60 or 70 things, I got to kind of say, okay, wait a minute. Top priority is look for deals on the following 10 games and only that following 10 games. And what was amazing was sometimes it was like a week later, sometimes it was like 4 months later, but eventually everything that was on those top 10s just got cleared out, and I had to reissue new top 10s and just keep going
That's
through
good,
to the
though.
point where I actually last month completely zeroed out my wish list.
And what was your biggest pickup of the year?
What was that?
What was your biggest pickup of the year?
Oh man, that's kind of hard to tell. I might as well. Here's some of the stuff that was on my wish list that I took care of this year, and in terms of what was the biggest, actually I know. Looking right at it, the biggest pickup that I had this year was a 3DO.
Okay.
I managed to get a 3DO. I got a really awesome deal. I was looking at I wanted games like Night Trap and Demolition Man and all this stuff. And if you look at these games, like Night Trap Complete in Box goes for like $100 on eBay right now for the 3DO. It's insane. So, but I was looking around, I was looking for deals, right? And I learned with the 3DO, the bundles were the way to go.
Okay.
And I found this one guy that was selling a 3DO bundle for, he had it listed for, I think, $220 for a while. And then, at first it was $250, and then I saw it drop to $220, and then he put it up for a best offer, so I offered him $200 even shipped. I think it was either $200 or $180 or something, and he said sold. But I got the 3DO with a controller. It also came with, I want to say, 60 games.
Damn, that's a really good deal.
Yeah, and I'm talking like good games. I'm not talking shitty games. Like it came with like Street Fighter 2. It came with Night Trap. It came with Sewer Shark. I mean, basically almost every single game that I wanted except for the Horde was part of this bundle.
That's actually a really good pickup.
Yeah, they weren't all complete. I settled for a lot of disc onlys, but I did get about 4 or 5 complete games, out of the deal. I got the Need for Speed. Which was pretty darn good. So that was definitely, I got Wing Commander 3. So that was pretty sweet. Everything else was pretty standard fare stuff. I got Daedalus Encounter for the 3DO. It didn't come with the 3DO that I bought. I had to buy that one separate. That one's got oh darn it, now I gotta look that one up. I'm doing bad with names today. Let me see. Daedalus.
I just remembered I actually got a Dreamcast this year. 2 Dreamcasts this year. That's the only one of the retro systems I was missing.
You got there you go. Let's see. Daedalus Encounter had Tia Carrere, or how do you pronounce her name? It was the girl that was in Wayne's World. Wayne's World 2.
I have no idea.
So
I'm
actually,
not good with these actors.
she's in both Wayne's World 1 and 2, actually. So, but so yeah, I got that game. I got Demolition Man for the 3DO. I got Wing Commander 3, already mentioned. I got Contra Hard Corps for the Sega Genesis from a fellow VG collector. I got Kirby's Dream Collection for the Wii. Dino Crisis 2 for the PlayStation. Parasite Eve 2 for the PlayStation. Metroid Zero Mission for the Game Boy Advance.
Damn.
Night Trap for the 3DO. Let's see what else I get. I got Mutant League Hockey for the Sega Genesis.
That's on my list right there.
Oh man, that was soul-crushingly difficult to get. And here's my advice to you, Jeremy. If you don't already have this game and it's on your list, don't wait long to get it, because that was on my list for over 2 years. And the problem is I never prioritized it till the top 10 until it was too late. When that first went on my wish list, it was a $40 game complete. Now, cart only, you're lucky if you can get it for $100.
Oh,
if you can even find it at all. It is very rarely listed on eBay, and when it is, the prices for it are ridiculous.
I can't wait till this retro bubble pops and everything goes down again.
Yeah, and insult to injury, right? Like, I managed to get Mutant League Football complete.
Nice.
So I really, really wanted Mutant League Hockey complete, so I could have them sitting right next to each other. That was like an OCD thing. Like, I couldn't have one complete and not have the other complete.
And cart only on the other.
Right. So let's see, what else did I get there? So Mutant League Hockey was a larger purchase. Ninja Gaiden for the Sega Master System.
Nice.
Released only in Europe and in Brazil. Urges for the PlayStation 1. It's a fighting game with the Final Fantasy characters in it.
Okay.
Blackthorn for the Super Nintendo. Super Bonk for the Super Nintendo. Shatterhand, actually, Turf 1218 on our very own Retro Reload show hooked me up with Shatterhand. He found it at a thrift shop and hooked a brother up. So
that guy finds everything. He saw stadium events like 3 weeks ago.
Hey, I'm not hating him. He's a great guy.
That's what I said. That's what I told him. Like, you ever see Conkers, let me know.
And he would too. He's that.
Yeah, I know
he would too. He's that kind of guy. I got Sparkster for the Sega Genesis, which is the sequel to Rocket Knight. I got Destruction Derby Raw for the PlayStation. And let's see, Pandora's Tower for the Wii. Lethal Enforcers 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 1. It is arcade perfect, both of them. And Montezuma's Revenge for the Sega Master System, which is the definitive version of the game. So, in fact, I even did one better. I managed to find a complete in box Montezuma's Revenge for $30 on eBay, and I snapped that right up. So now I actually have 2 copies of Montezuma's Revenge. So anybody out there, if you're looking for a copy of Montezuma's Revenge cart only for Sega Master System,
signed by the Retro Reload crew,
I have a spare, right? I don't. Yeah, I'll sign a piece of paper next to it because I know a collector wouldn't want me to sign their cartridge, right? But yeah, I mean, if you want it, just joking about the signature. If you want to hit me up in the chat, the doodly doo or whatever, let me know, and we'll work it out. I'm not looking to charge eBay prices for it, so help me cover shipping and give me a little bit extra for me to compensate for the fact I bought the same game twice, and it's yours.
How much did I normally go for the card only?
When I bought the card only, it was I want to say $45.
That's actually not bad.
Yeah. So when I saw it complete in box for they wanted like 50 for it, but it was 50 or best offer, so I was like,
30.
30. And they're like, okay. So sometimes the best offers win, folks. Like, you should give it a shot. I've gotten a lot of things way cheaper than eBay list price because of best offers. I've also had a lot of people just flat out either reject or ignore my best offers. Don't take offense to it, right? Like, I mean,
it's business.
It's totally business. So, and for those of you that do best offers and you review them and sometimes you give people like me a deal, greatly appreciate it. You're wonderful to have on eBay. So those were the kind of things that were in my wish list this past year that I just went through and crushed. And like I said, this year my biggest accomplishment was I succeeded in acquiring every game I'd ever wanted as a kid.
That's such a big accomplishment because I haven't reached that yet.
Yeah. Now that's not to say it doesn't mean I have every game, right? I'm nowhere near. Like you look at Flea's collection, and that he's cataloged. He has over 10,000. He has almost 10,000 items, if not over 10,000 items by now. But if you look at my collection, I think it's only like 700 something items. So not a lot. There's plenty of collectors on BG Collect that have way more than me. But my primary goal is to collect what I'm going to play. So, or to collect what I have a connection to. So now I have just recently started on a new wish list, but this new wish list is more current gen titles, and even for retro stuff, it's kind of more like curiosities to me, right?
Yes.
Like I'm curious about the Sega Saturn, so I bought the Horde for Sega Saturn instead of 3DO, even though I already had a 3DO, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab some Sega Saturn games, and I'm going to check out the Sega Saturn. So for 2016, my goal is to get a Sega Saturn and at least 5 decent games for Sega Saturn.
I'll keep an eye out for you if I see a system.
Yeah, so anybody watching, if you can suggest to me 5 Sega Saturn games that you think I shouldn't be doing without, drop some comments down in the doodly-doo. The first game that I have is the Horde, and then the second game, which is on its way, is Double Switch, which is actually what?
I had that for some Sega CD.
Did you? I have it for Sega CD complete because I didn't know that it was also available on Sega.
I hated that game.
You hate it?
Oh yeah, I literally gave it away. Literally gave it away.
It's definitely not as pick up and play as Night Trap. Like I know a lot of people gave Night Trap a lot of hate, but it is very pick up and play. It is not a difficult
I was
game.
sitting there playing it. I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is this? You lose. I'm like, I don't know what I did wrong.
Yeah, I think the tough thing about it is the best way to play the game is to not try to watch the movie, right? Like you really have to like just kind of like go around, figure out when things happen, and then what'll happen is like you'll figure out. Or we're so wired to like watch a movie and everything is like linear that the notion that we might have to watch something and grind through it like half a dozen times before we realize what's going on and we've seen enough pieces to where we can put the puzzle together. That's what I think makes that game very jarring, because you want to just watch it like a movie, but if you just sit there and watch it like a movie, you're dead in like 5 seconds.
I thought it was a cutscene. I'm just sitting there waiting for the cutscene to end. You lose.
Like just go straight into game over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I did the same. We all did that. Yeah, we all did that. So, but yeah, so I've got that, and I've got the Horde. Looking forward to picking up some other stuff, for Sega Saturn and checking that out. So what are your goals for 2016? Like just general goals.
Get a job and work on getting more games, pretty much.
Any particular ones that you've got your sights set on first, or you think you're still going to get a 3DS, or have you given up on that one?
I still want the 3DS. I still want the Xbox One. But it's like I should focus on games right now,
Yeah.
Especially like the 64, since that's my favorite system. Get more. So I have plenty of PS3, 360, CD-based games. I need more cartridges.
What game was driving the 3DS desire?
It was actually a New Leaf, Animal Crossing.
Really?
Yeah, I was watching it one time. And I was like, "Oh, let's play." I was like, let's check this out." I got fairly deep on this guy. I was like, "I want this."
I would not picture you as an Animal Crossing fan.
I get that a lot now.
Wow, I'm not hating. Don't get me wrong. My son.
I never played one before either, but it looked interesting.
Yeah, like, my son absolutely loves Animal Crossing, but I didn't picture you as an Animal Crossing guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot for the first time. I even added it to my other list.
Nothing wrong with that. You know, like some of the games that I've enjoyed the most were games that were you know, games that I wouldn't have normally picked up and played. So that kind of surprised me. So there was another thread to that effect. There was another thread that I you know, I went and followed on VG Collect, and this one was the thread was actually called 52 Games in 2015. And the idea was that you try to play at least 52 games in the year and then give a little bit of a blurb about what you think of those games.
I thought that thread was buy one game a week, and I never clicked on it.
Oh, man.
I was
No,
like,
no,
I can't
no.
afford one game a week.
No,
Never clicked
dude,
it.
you and I couldn't. That'd be insane.
Then it comes to find out to play 52 games. So I was like, well, I'm just stupid.
So here's some of the stuff. I do have, if you go to vgcollect.com, I'll put a link in the doodly-doo and you check out this thread. You can see some more details. I put them in the order in which I played them. I put the system they were for. I put like the time period that I played it for. So between January and February, here's some of the ones that I played. I played Night Trap for 3DO, and my comments were, this game surprised me. It's actually pretty fun and entertaining. I'm convinced a lot of the haters have never actually played the game. Another game I played, Super Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U. My comments on that were, I just recently started playing this game with my son. It's easy to pick up, and the tracks offer a lot of variety. I can see why so many other people like it. I wish they'd made separate tracks for battle mode, though.
That bugs me.
Yeah.
When you told me that, I was like, well, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah, the wide open tracks for battle mode just make the battle mode totally useless in that game. Other than that, great game, though. Really great game. All the DLC that later came out, Animal Crossing, Legend of Zelda, awesome DLC. Cluedo for the Philips CDI. My wife and I played the game. She didn't really like it. I thought it was pretty cool. The full motion video was really good quality, which is true of most things on the CDI, with the full motion video being really good quality. The acting was corny, but it was entertaining, kind of corny. I could see why a lot of people actually like Cluedo for the CDI. Or I'm sorry, no wait. No, a lot of people didn't like it. I sorry. A lot of people didn't like it, and they find the board game more entertaining. In my comments, you know, my wife is one of the ones that loves the board game. She hated Cluedo on the CDI. I loved it. I thought it was really good. I get bored of the board game really quick. I played Wonder Boy for Sega Master System, more commonly known as Hudson's Adventure Island for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Master System version has way better graphics and sound. Otherwise, it's the exact same game. Montezuma's Revenge for the Sega Master System. This was more commonly known to be on the 2600, the Commodore 64, and the ColecoVision. But the Master System version has amazing graphics and sound, and way more gameplay options than any of those other ones. So, you know, if you want to play the definitive version of Montezuma's Revenge, that's the way to do it. Super Mario 2, the real Super Mario Brothers 2 that was released in Japan. I played that on the Virtual Console. It's harder than the first one, better graphics, lots of bonus levels once you're beating it. I did beat that one. Blaster Master Enemy Below. This was for Game Boy Color, and it was kind of like the NES sequel that we all wanted to Blaster Master. The graphics are pretty much the same as the Nintendo version. The music is kind of a watered down version of the Nintendo music. Metroid Zero Mission, I had panned that game, even though it was a Metroid game, because I thought that it was just a remake of the first game, like in the traditional sense. And I didn't want to play it because the original game is brutally difficult. I didn't realize that it was like it was kind of like a remastering of the original game, including honing of the difficulty curve and stuff. It's pretty much the best side-scrolling Metroid game I've played next to Super Metroid. So, let's see, Double Switch for Sega CD. I played it for a little bit, and then, you know, I didn't get frustrated with it, but it was clear I needed to learn how to properly use the traps, and I just wasn't ready to do it at that particular moment in time. It's not just hit a button like it was in Night Trap. Brain Dead 13 for the 3DO. I'm going to actually read the full comment that I put on this one. This is, without exaggeration, the worst, quote, video game I've ever played.
I never even heard of that one.
Imagine Dragon's Lair, only without any kind of hints about what you're supposed to do. That's this game. If you enjoy watching beautiful full motion video while randomly banging on buttons in a vain attempt to see the next clip, this might be your game. All normal gamers, though, should steer clear. Part of me wonders if Brain Dead 13 is a reference to the people who thought up this game.
I have to check that one out now.
It's awful. Like it's got like beautiful Don Bluth animation, and that's about the only good thing I can say about it. So Demolition Man for the 3DO. This was really cool. A lot of people don't know this, but the 3DO version had light gun shooter sections, which actually supported the 3DO light gun, which the shooter sections are fantastic. And then it had passable 3D Wolfenstein-like sections, some horrible driving sections, and some ridiculously bad Mortal Kombat side-scrolling fighting games. So if you really, really, really want to take a digitized Wesley Snipes and you know, you want to wail on him with a digital Sylvester Stallone, this is the game for you. But it's a painful situation. What's really cool about it, though, is that the game had footage of Stallone and Snipes that was actually filmed specifically for the game.
Nice.
So that was kind of neat. APB, All Points Bulletin for the PS3. It's part of the Midway Arcade Origins. Lots of people remember Spy Hunter. Fewer people remember APB, but APB was a way better game. It's free roam, so unlike Spy Hunter, which is like continuously scrolling upwards and everything, you know, APB, you could drive all around. There was a big giant map. You had to capture certain criminals and all that stuff. You only had a certain amount of fuel, and you had to get back to your, you know, back to the precinct in time. What was really cool is when you catch the bad guys, each stage you had to catch a particular bad guy, and when you caught the bad guys, there was a mini game where you had to hit the buttons rapidly to choke. Yes, I mean choke the confession out of the bad guy that you caught. And it shows like the door to the interrogation room and like a window in the door where you can see the silhouette of you like choking this guy crazy. And then you see the chief coming down the steps, right, toward the door to open it up. And you have to get the guy to confess before the chief opens the door.
Nice.
So yeah, that was a really good game. Some of the other ones were fairly generic stuff: Pit Fighter 2, Joust 2, Super Off-Road. There was a couple of indie games in there. Black Ice was a loot grind 3D system. I got the Steam key directly from the developer, so that I met at Rockage earlier in the year. It's a pretty good cyberpunk first-person shooter. So, and I think at the time it was like $5. Couldn't really go wrong. Shock Troopers for the Neo Geo. Holy crap! Anybody that's played Guerrilla War, or Akari Warriors, or Commando, this game is way better than all of those games. Shock Troopers is a really good game for Neo Geo. If you can find it, I didn't list it here, but I don't think it's available in any collections, which means you either have to play it on the Neo Geo or you have to emulate it. But I'll follow up on that, and if there is a way to get it in a collection, I will post it because it is worth tracking down. So that's most of the stuff that I played early on, but that's not even, I mean, I'm only up to like 29 and 30, and I skipped a whole bunch. So other stuff I did: Lethal Enforcers 2, Mortal Kombat Trilogy on the iPhone, Bonk's Adventure for the TurboGrafx 16, Doc's Punch Out for the Wii. I got this before the Nintendo Club shut down. There was a Nintendo Club only. They had a downloadable mini game that was Punch Out, where you fought Doc, your trainer.
Oh, I'm about to say, I was thinking Doc Rivers for some reason from basketball.
No, Doc is trainer from the thing, and Doc is pretty darn tough. There's a reason why he's your trainer. Doc knows his stuff. Let's see, Megaforce for the Atari 2600. You ride a motorbike that can transform into a flying jet ski and shoot rockets.
Interesting.
Dude, it is every bit as awesome as it sounds. It's back when 21st Century Fox made video games.
Damn, that was forever going.
Yeah. So let's see. Duke Nukem the Manhattan Project for the PC. So this was released while 3D Realms was still researching strippers and booze for Duke Nukem Forever. Sunstorm Interactive actually got a license to develop and release a Duke Nukem game, and it's a side scroller, but everything is 3D rendered. It's an excellent game. If you check it out on Steam right now, it's like $3. If you insist on having it in a physical copy, I got both a physical copy and a Steam key for it. It's like $6 sealed on eBay, or you can get for $3 digital only on Steam. So I played Ninja Gaiden for the TurboGrafx 16. A lot of people don't know that Ninja Gaiden was released for TurboGrafx 16. That's because it was only released in Japan. But really cool thing is if you hold the 1 and 2 buttons at the title screen and then hit select, it actually allows you to play the game in English.
Well, that's really helpful, actually.
Really helpful, and the graphics are way better on the TurboGrafx 16 version of the game. So, King of the Monsters for Neo Geo, I played through SNK Classics on the Wii. King of the Fighters, I played through SNK Classics on the Wii. Samurai Showdown, Metal Slug, basically I went on a Neo Geo marathon with SNK Classics. It was if you don't have SNK Classics for the Wii and you like Neo Geo games, you should find it. It's got a compilation of basically all the greats just about on a single disc. Let's see what other ones are worth bringing up. Magical Chase for the TurboGrafx 16. Parodius Da for the TurboGrafx 16. Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu on the TurboGrafx 16. I was shocked. Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu was an awesome game. It was a really good side scroller, good graphics, good gameplay. It's a solid game. You can punch, kick, jump, shoot fireballs. You can even control gravity while you're jumping. I mean, it's a pretty good game. Knight Rider, I played for the TurboGrafx 16. It's like Spy Hunter, but played from a Rad Racer perspective. I couldn't get through it. The game was making me have a seizure. I couldn't handle it. Chase HQ for the TurboGrafx 16. Pretty much what I just said about Knight Rider. Same. Bubblegum Crash for the TurboGrafx 16. It's a point-and-click adventure game. Good graphics. It's like Shadowgate, only with anime characters. So, let's see. Don Doku Don, I played for the TurboGrafx 16. It's like Bubble Bobble if you had a hammer. So, Adventure Island, new Adventure Island for the TurboGrafx 16. This is basically the definitive version of Adventure Island. So, and then after that, I kind of didn't really. Okami HD was another one that I picked up. That was another one of those games where like I got it because everyone else was talking about how great it was, but I'd kind of like panned it. And then once I started playing it, I was like, holy shit, like this is an amazing game. Okami is basically Legend of Zelda, only if the main character was a dog.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I know that probably sounds, you know, silly or lame or whatever, but I don't mean any disrespect to the game. The game is amazing. The game is absolutely amazing. The graphics are great. The story is great. The immersion in culture and in lore is absolutely great. It's one of those games where, like, as you play it, you feel like you're kind of learning something. So it's like a celebration of culture. So really, really cool. Rumble Roses for the PS2. It's an all-female wrestling game, and the cutscenes. It's like,
Is it the one in the bikinis?
oh man, this is like anybody that you've played Dead or Alive, right? Or at least you've
Yes.
seen Dead or Alive. Man, Dead or Alive could only aspire to be as womanizing as this game.
Oh God.
I mean, it's a PlayStation 2 game. You have to kind of play it to believe it. I will admit this game is a guilty pleasure of mine, and I played it far more than I should have. I will most likely continue to play this game off and on until I've unlocked every character and every costume. So,
I think we've had this conversation about this game. Your wife's not a fan, is she?
My wife is not a fan. She will get up and leave the room. It's going to take me years to unlock everything in this game, not because it's hard, but because I have to be like, I have to commit to playing this game. Like, do I really, you know, am I going to be affected if my wife just gets up and leaves as I play this game? You know, and depending on where I'm at in my life, most nights, most times, the answer to that is no, right? I don't want that to happen. I want to spend a nice evening with my wife. And, you know, even if it's just going through the Netflix queue. But then every now and then you just kind of want to be left alone. And yeah, for the times when you're just like, I want to turn off the world and I just want to do something totally mindless and be left alone, it's kind of a hilarious game. So it's everything. Every character's storyline is like straight out of a bad porno movie. It's like crazy. So, but anyway, so those are some of the games that I played. I know you didn't officially do the 52 and 50, but do you have a highlight reel of games that you played?
Fallout 4, Mario Maker, replayed and beat Ace Combat 4 the other day within like 2 days.
Did it hold up?
Oh yeah. I go play the other two, just get refreshed.
In preparation, right?
Even though it's like 20% developed, Ace Combat 7. I don't know. I don't really keep track. If I feel well, I've been playing sports games lately too. Also,
so our final topic for the evening.
Well, let me ask you. All I want for Christmas is Chris. What is your answer?
All you want for Christmas is me?
Yes. Your answer.
That's kind of scary, dude. You're supposed to save that for the off show section.
Well, that was the title. All I want for Christmas is, and that was Chris's turn.
Yeah, I started a all I want for Christmas is ... thread, which was inspired by my Mariah Carey, who won't stop going on the radio and telling the world that all she wants for Christmas is me. It's frankly embarrassing. Mariah, if you're watching, I know we're both Central New Yorkers. I know I'm insanely attractive and incredibly wealthy, but our time's passed. Okay, I'm very much in love with Lisa Vincelette, and this just not going to change. You're a fantastic girl. I really hope that you find somebody that's your match. That somebody is not me. So I appreciate the song, but moving on. So what I want for Christmas 2016, right, is there's a game that was the makers of Heavy Rain actually did a short film, which I think you saw, right?
Yes, I watched it for the show.
They did a short film which was fully rendered by the PS3. It was a tech demo, and the film was called Kara. And it was about a android that is built to be very, very, very lifelike, very, very human looking. and there's a glitch somehow in the hardware where Kara, when she's brought online, actually thinks that she's alive. She's self-aware and believes that she is a living being. And so she's supposed to be rejected and stripped down for parts and,
check for the bug,
all that other stuff, right? And the creator takes pity on her, and packages her up, ships her out with all the other androids. And that's pretty much the short. We'll put a link to it in the doodly-doo. It's a fantastic short, especially when you watch it and keep in mind this is all being rendered in real time.
It was impressive graphics, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, for PlayStation 3, yeah, right?
Yes, definitely. PS3, I was like, wow, this is a PS3? That's impressive.
Yeah. So they decided they want to see what happens when she's pushed out in the wide world. And so they announced just last month that they are working on a full-blown video game called Detroit Become Human, starring Kara. And it will be released sometime. I don't know if it'll be released in 2016 or 2017. Ideally, I want the game released when it's done, because the teaser looks amazing, and the directions that they're looking to go in the story look very, very intriguing. At least that was my take on it. What was your take?
Actually, I was really impressed. Like, I actually put on keep an eye on this game. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I was watching, I was like, this is interesting. This is really interesting.
Yeah, what was interesting to me is how far along it is and how impressive it looks and how compelling it is, yet this is the first time I'm hearing about it. So
I can imagine what it looks like on PS4.
Yeah, well, the teaser was all rendered on the PS4.
Okay.
So the short film, the short film where they're going through the whole system check and everything, and she's malfunctioning, that was rendered on the PlayStation 3. But the teaser trailer was all PlayStation 4.
Okay.
So, but and then did you see the behind the scenes?
Yes, when they put the dots on her face and
Man,
the movements and stuff.
I did not really appreciate just how let's say gorgeous, but it doesn't seem to do it justice, right? I didn't appreciate how good the PlayStation 3 graphics were until I saw the behind the scenes and realized, holy crap, the model looks exactly like the actress.
She did. Same hair, same facial structure, everything.
Yeah, same facial. I mean, when you see the actress acting her lines, and then you see, like, in the PlayStation 3, you see that the CG model doing the same lines. It's like dead on. So that to me was super impressive, and if they could do that for the short film with the PlayStation 3, I'm super psyched to see what that scene looks like fully re-rendered on the PlayStation 4. So
yeah, I put on my maybe list because of you, because I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Now I can't, full disclosure, right? I can't speak for the gameplay. This is by the same folks that made Heavy Rain, and the same folks that made Life is Strange, both of which are not conventional types of games. They're more focused on the story and the drama and how it unfolds, and they have elements of interactivity, but they're not what you would necessarily call a, quote, game in like the Tomb Raider sense, or the Call of Duty sense. But that said, in this particular case, I think with Detroit Become Human, for me anyway, the concept behind the story is enough for me to want to give it a shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot too, definitely.
So folks, that's been our year in review, what we've been doing, what we've been up to. What have you been doing? What have you been up to? What goals did you set for yourself in 2015? And did you meet them? Did you not meet them? What do you think
goals next year?
What was that?
And what are your goals for next year?
Yeah, what are your goals for 2016? What are you looking to do? You're looking to pick up some consoles? You're looking to pick up some games?
What game announcements do you want?
Yeah, what do you want to see from the show, Retro Reload? Do you want to see more stubble?
Less stubble?
Do you want to see, red Santa hat instead of purple Santa hat? Talk to us. We can work something out.
And we were about this is month 8th, I think, too, for us. So we're doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're cranking right along. So, folks, we hope that you have a safe holiday, whatever you celebrate, and we wish you definitely a happy New Year. If we don't see you between now and then, don't do anything we wouldn't do. That pretty much leaves things pretty wide open.
Because we will be announcing our Christmas gifts.
Oh, yes. Christmas gifts on the follow-up show.
Whatever it is.
I'll finally be able to break the seal and talk about it. And also expect in 2016, early 2016, expect Dash V's impressions of which is better, Xbox One or PlayStation 4.
Good night.
Night.